Hi, I'm Becca Holm and I'm a junior at South Dakota State University. I'm a double major in microbiology and biotechnology with math and chemistry minors. This summer, I got the opportunity to work on a research fellowship for the USDA and IFA. I did this at SDSU in Heike Buking's lab. This summer, I worked on looking at the growth-promoting abilities of bacterial endophytes. Bacterial endophytes are found in the tissue of plants, and they can have many growth-promoting properties. These properties include indole-acetic acid production, nitrogen fixation, phosphate solubilization, and pathogen suppression. This summer, I worked on 2 separate projects to investigate these growth-promoting abilities. The first project, the application of mixed cultures of bacterial endophytes to wheat, was done this summer. And what we did was we took isolates that were isolated from soybean plants and we tested them for their indole-acetic acid production, and then we also tested them for their compatibility with each other. And then after those, we used the results from that testing and previous growth-promoting ability property testing, and we used that information to create mixed cultures of the isolates. We then applied those mixed cultures to wheat in a growth chamber and looked at the dry root mass and the dry shoot mass. We found 2 mixed cultures that had a significant impact on the dry shoot or the dry root mass of the wheat. And then the second experiment that I worked on was the endophyte plant growth response experiment. For this, they already had endophytes applied to corn out in the field. And so what I did this summer was just go out and take tissue samples and analyze the nutrient content to look and see if the endophytes had made an impact on the nutrient content yet. As the summer came to an end, we saw no change in the nutrient content of the tissue yet, but they're still analyzing from when they harvested, and they're going to look at the nutrient content at harvest. So there's still a chance that the endophytes had growth-promoting properties and affected the plants. I think it's super important for undergraduates to get lots of lab experience, just because you take everything you learned in like your lab classes and stuff and you apply it to something that's actually meaningful and actually a project. We were in collab with a company called Indigo Egg this summer, so we had to get results. And so I had to make sure that like my techniques were right and I was doing everything right. And I really learned a lot from working in the lab this summer. I got to do things like DNA purification, I got to make lots of media, I did lots of streaking out, I did lots of colony isolation, and I did lots of field work as well. And overall just got a huge, plentiful amount of lab experience. And I really think that's gonna help me in the future, and it's gonna look really good for other future research opportunities. So I had a great summer working under the USDA and Heike Buking, and I really recommend that all undergraduates get in some type of research. Thanks.